Have you ever felt that the lack of your love for the spotlight means that you will always be in the background, like you're too quiet to be a great leader? Think again. Simon Sinek, Angela Merkel, Bill Gates, and many more very well-known introverted leaders proved that introverts have their superpowers. And today, we are uncovering the success of quiet leadership. Welcome to Psychology in Business. I'm Victoria, psychologist, executive MBA with more than a decade in leadership positions of tech companies or departments of huge, large corporations, including BMW. Here we explore how psychology shapes business success. And I empower business leaders to change mindsets and behaviors to achieve their goals. Hit that subscribe button and let's get into today's topic. Let's talk myth. Most people believe that great leaders must be loud and energetic and commanding. In reality, some of the most impactful leaders are quiet, thoughtful, and deeply introspective. Let me introduce you Mr. and Miss Introverts. They are the leaders who avoid office gossip, skip unnecessary meetings, and think twice before answering to a group chat. While others are busy talking, Mr. and Miss Introverts are busy listening. And listening is the most underrated leadership superpowers. Let's break it down. What is extraversion and introversion? And now we will have a short overview. However, if you need the full explanation, just watch my previous video here or by the link in the description. Psychologically speaking, introversion is an orientation toward the inner world, thoughts, feelings, reflection. Extraversion is an orientation toward the external world, people, activity, stimulation. However, it's not binary, it's not either or, it's a continuum. And in the middle of this continuum, we have ambiverts, who have the best out of both worlds. If you want to find out where you land, you can check in the description to this video the links to, for example, 16 personalities type or the big 5 personality tests. They are for free, just check it out. Looking into the general statistics, introverts would make 30 to 50% out of the whole population. However, they are underrepresented into leadership. Why? One of the explanations is because leadership has historically been marked as a stage, and extroverts love the stage. Introverts, maybe not that much. However, introverts make excellent leaders. Let's walk through Mr. and Miss Introverts' secret skills. Deep listening. They actually hear what you are saying, unlike that extreme extroverted person who is, instead of listening, just waiting for their turn to talk. Strategic decision making. They think before acting. Radical, right? Strong one-on-one bonds. Forget about karaoke. They are building trust over coffee. Emotional intelligence. They sense the tension in the room before anyone speaks. Calm in chaos. When everything is on fire, they are reading the manual. Focus and productivity. They would rather finish the project than talk how potentially great the project might be. But why don't we see more of them? Introverts don't love self-promotion, they avoid the spotlight, they minimize networking, and they are underestimated because they are quiet. Challenges of quiet leadership. Public speaking of confidence needs warming up. Managing large groups, doable with system, delegation, and trust. How to leverage introversion in business life if you are an introvert. There is an idea that we have to develop those skills and characteristics which are weak. I have a different approach. I think that we have to develop, first of all, what we have already strong, what is naturally easier for us to do, and to make it excellent, to leverage it. And in addition to that, to develop something which is not that strong naturally at us. Those skills which could be improved. So don't fake extraversion. Use your strength. Build strong one-on-one relationships with your team members, with your co-founders, with anyone you are interacting due to the work environment. Network by depth and not volume. means build very good connections with less people because it's probably easier for you than to interact with huge crowds. Prepare and structure your communication. Use your analytical skills to make the very well structured presentations and information for the team or for the decision makers to have a solution based on facts. And here we have many aspects. Instead of organizing a meeting which you want to skip maybe, you can prepare the very well structured document with clear questions to be answered by all team members. Or you can prepare everything and delegate the facilitation of the meeting to more extroverted person. However, you are still there for making the decisions. You just have to find the format which works best for you. It's also easier to record the video message, for example, than to talk in front of a real public. And it's easier to talk online via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or any other tool than in person, because online you can see it in your room in comfort without people staring at you because you just don't see them. Yeah, they are online on that side of the laptop. On the stage, if you have to give the speech, maybe it's easier for you to start from panel discussions. They might give you questions they are going to ask you in advance. You would prepare and have the conversation. It would be the normal conversation between you and interviewer, facilitator, on the stage in front of people. But if you ignore them somehow and think that I'm just talking with this person, it would be easier for you. After you feel comfortable in that conversation, you can have the conversation and interaction with the crowd, with public, giving the speech and raising question. Who of you has ever experienced something? Raise your hands, this style. Maybe before that, you can also practice just simple and nice prepared talk without interaction, because it could be easier for you. So find the approach which works for you best, which is easier for you because of whatever specifics and the training you had before. Believe me, public speaking is difficult for everyone, also for extroverts. So just find something which is easier for you. Maybe take a course in addition, because we extroverts also took these courses, and then you will feel more comfortable in that. Just to sum up, introverts are very smart and focused, diving into the smallest details and analyzing the whole information to give a perfect solution. If introverts want, they can formulate any ideas in the greatest possible way. It definitely gives advantages in many jobs. If you want or have to be more publicly visible, then there are tricks, which I just mentioned, but the most important is to use what you already have and strengthen it and acquire new skills, which are always there. There is always the room for improvement for each of us. And then you will leverage and excel in any position you want to be. By the way, there is a myth that salesperson should be an extrovert. However, I know introverts who are selling very well because they are not loud and noisy and mention your name in every sentence, because this is such an NLP approach to sell anything. They are very open and sincere in their communication, which they build one-on-one with very deep trust, which makes you feel comfortable, good, and this person is trustworthy for you. You can buy something easily, especially if we are talking about the big luxury purchases. If you are an extrovert working with introverts, do not confuse the silence with lack of ideas. Provide the trustful space for introverts to shine. If needed, organize one-on-one meetings and small rounds of conversations instead of huge brainstorming with 25 people in the room. Give them time to think and maybe a possibility to answer in a written way instead of verbal. Don't force them to present and facilitate something and be in the spotlight if their social battery is low and they clearly communicate it to you. Give them time. But it's a good approach to start small presentations inside the work in groups so that people are knowing each other and have good relationship. It's not that scary and there is no feeling of everyone is judging you. So who wins? Extroverts or introverts? It's not about winning. It's about leading your way. Whether you're Mr. or Miss Extrovert or Mr. or Miss Introvert or an ambivert, self-awareness is your ultimate leadership power. Tell me in the comments, are you more a quiet strategist or loud motivator? How does that shape your leadership style? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your introverted friend who keeps the company running quietly but successfully.